Mama used to serve vegetables, now half the meals got tentacles. Half the Emirates need a reservation and half my money goes straight to taxes. But I don't trip about it, that's what happens when you got dreams closer than a matching. Plus all your boys got expensive habits. I know what they're thinking, they don't even gotta say it. They thinking they just made it. I know how to make everybody feel famous. I don't gotta work no day shift. I don't gotta split no payment. I don't gotta answer questions. And I don't need you to okay it. Okay, 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay, I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay, all my girls, they love.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is a special edition of Wild Card Weekend on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Carolina Panthers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, it is something not seen all that often in these parts. Playoff football in North Carolina. We've got it at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. Today we continue on in Wild Card Weekend with a great NFC matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Carolina Panthers. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the postseason on EA Sports. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, that's really all I need to say to get you fired up. It's the postseason on EA Sports.
And no one's more fired up than the guys who are going to be playing in this game. This is what they fought for all year long. Go back to the OTAs, the mini camps, training camp, throughout the season to get to the playoffs. The intensity level will be off the charts.
Winner go home is the mantra, and off we go. We're underway in this NFC wildcard game. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their 6'5" quarterback out of North Dakota State. It's Carson Wentz.
He didn't have as many throws or plays in college as many of the quarterbacks that were coming out in the draft, but he maximized what he had. Ended up winning 2 national championships as a starting quarterback at North Dakota State.
A good run on first down. It's got him very close to the line to gain, just shy of the 35. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Holding offense.
That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
This is Howard on second down. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there. Now Wentz on third down. And that will be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
Now this offense about ready to take over again. I guess you could say they're kind of fortunate to be in the position that they're in, able to host as a division champ, because it's really one of the weakest divisions in the NFL.
And there's often the discussion every time, right, that fourth seed, should they actually be hosting? Because sometimes it turns out that division winner has a lesser record than wild card teams that get in, and some people think that'd be a more fair way of doing things. I got to tell you, I personally like it. The winning a division title, I don't care what the division, how it's ranked, it still means something to me, and I like the fact that they get to host.
I think that that's the reason you have the divisions. If you didn't just stack them all up and take the best 6 records, but there's a division for a reason, and the champion hosts the first round.
And the first rule of thumb in building a team, build a team to win your division. Beat those teams first, then you go from there.
Derek Barnett drops him for a 4-yard loss there, and that brings up 4th down.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Here's Michael Pilardi now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. Sproles, the return.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
They knew they were going to have great field position, went all out, got a little too aggressive.
And you have to understand your angles. They're cut down. When they're that backed up, you've got to be careful going after him.
So a big break. The roughing the kicker called on 4th down leads to 1st and 10. Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Throwing on 2nd down. Newton. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And he's able to get up here to the 26. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. Back to the ground on 1st, it's McCaffrey. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play. Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
On 2nd and 12, Newton, and an alley to run.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
To throw is Newton. Got a man, it's right. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. Goal line offense, something they've really been emphasizing in practice lately. Now they have a chance here to put all that hard work to use. They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Second down and goal. Newton, he finds his man, the tight end Olsen. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 3rd and goal. Line of scrimmage at the 4. Here's 3rd and goal. From the gun, here's Newton. That's to McCaffrey, complete. Certainly not what they wanted there. No gain, and it's 4th down.
That goes in the category of a play that the defense is going to cherish and excites them. A completion, yes, you give up the pass, but no gain. I mean, that's exactly what you want on defense.
And sets up the 4th down. Every possession in the postseason magnified, and look, it's just the opening drive. They didn't get the touchdown they wanted, but at least they got on the board.
They got on the board. They've got their home crowd into it as well. And remember, in the playoffs, the game slows down a little bit, so every point is precious.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. They bring the 5 seed into the playoffs. Of course, they're one of the wild card teams. And when you're a wild card team, it makes it a little bit tougher. You have to win the extra game. But there's been a precedent set of teams doing that. And nothing but daylight ahead. He's at the 30. 10. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jordan Howard, 76 yards. And the Eagles have taken the lead. They talked about stringing together some explosive plays here in the playoffs. That was a pretty explosive play.
It certainly was. And if you're going to win on the road, it certainly helps to have big playability in your hip pocket, doesn't it?
Elliott good with a PAT. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. They've been a come-from-behind team all year. They'll need to do it again as they trail early in this wild card game. So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports.
Ready, 57. Get the ball. Get it.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. The Panthers on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Out of the gun, Newton. Looking for the tight end, Olsen, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 37, and they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Running with Howard. And he'll slice his way down to the 30 with a pickup of 7.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Let's find 7. Check. Cross. Let's find 7.
From the 30 on second down, Wentz. And that's complete to Jeffrey. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 13 and a first down for Philadelphia.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. This is taken in by Jeffrey. He's got it. Touchdown, Eagles. Alshon Jeffrey there to make the grab. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. That's one of those touchdown tosses where if it's an inch to the right or left, it's not a touchdown. He had to put it right on the money.
Yeah, and how did he do that? Everything around him, everything swirling, all the coverage downfield. Somehow he spotted the opening and put it right there.
So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. The result, Philadelphia in the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. They've got to be a little shell-shocked. Down double digits at home in the playoffs. Still in the first half. They've got to turn things around quickly. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Oh, and now he bowls him over. Call it an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be 3rd down.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. And he's got his target. That's Moore. His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for a first down.
Here we go. Get ready.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. Timmy Jernigan, the Florida State man, in on the stop. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now Scarlett. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Run coverage, excellent there from the defensive end position.
How many times do we sit with coaches and they talk about a base defensive end, a guy who can anchor and play with leverage? We just saw a great example of it. And how about the bonus, tackling the runner for a loss?
Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Almost unstoppable on the ground there as that one is good for 39. One thing that's great about watching him run, Charles, he doesn't hesitate. He got to the left side of his own line and just went.
So there's 2 ways to look at that. One, just absolutely unconcerned, just takes off and goes. But more the latter, I think, which is he has absolute confidence in the guys in front of him, the guys doing the blocking for him. He just takes it and goes with abandon.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jordan Howard with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. So much talk this week on the other side about slowing him down coming off that great performance, NFC Offensive Player of the Week last week. But long touchdown run there, nobody was stopping it.
Yeah, good luck for that because that was an explosive run. You know, in the NFL, they describe that as any run over 10 yards. Some teams say 15. He went over 20-plus on that one.
Extra point, hugged the upright a bit, but he gets it to go. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. Complete out to Samuel on the quick throw. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. It'll buy some time right.
Looked at me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally, able to hold him in check. He'd been carving him up running the ball.
That's the first time I think I've seen where the coverage was good downfield and they accounted for him and stopped him for a short pickup.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big adjustment, but much more emphasis on making sure they knew where he was when he decided to take off and go. Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Now Sproles. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Jordan Howard and the rest of the offense heading back out there. And he's closing in on that often elusive 200-yard mark.
And you know he's celebrating what's going on. He may not know exactly where he is in yardage, but he has a pretty decent idea.
Come on, he knows.
Runners always know. But he's also in that huddle.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They are clicking on all cylinders. They seem to be just scoring at will right now, and that's why they've opened up this big lead.
Now, we always talk about getting into the zone, and all athletes are seeking that, aren't they? Where everything is working for them. Every move they make works. It clicks, and they are on point right now.
Yeah, they are in that zone that you're talking about. On 2nd down now. It's Howard. And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. 2 minutes to play here in this first half of the NFL playoffs. A reminder coming up at the half, as we've done all year. We'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. Coach will have the lowdown on what's going on here in this wild card weekend as we begin on the road to Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta.
Man 5-7.
To throw is Wentz. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it, and he'll bring this one back to the 29.
You see me out here? That's right.
Well, there definitely was some juice on that pass. And while tight ends don't always have the same reputation for hands as wide receivers do, in this case, that ball was expected to be caught.
Now following the interception, here's Newton. And they've got the hook up. This is Olsen. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Newton now to throw. And caught left side, Olsen.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
He'll get this to McCaffrey out of the backfield. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that'll get the deficit down to 15. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
This will be taken in at the 1. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
120!
Check, watch 54, watch 54. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
On the give, running right is Howard. Even with the good footwork, he'll be stopped just inside the 35-yard line. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
Sunday!
Mike's 54! Mike's 54! You're trapped!
Hey, staff!
Twist!
Wentz. It's brought in by Jeffrey. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. The Eagles will take their third and final timeout as they get it right at the 30-second mark of this first half. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Wentz off the fake handoff to Howard. This is taken in by Jeffrey. He's got it. Touchdown, Eagles. Carson Wentz with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Eagles able to push further out in front.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for, and this touchdown will count. Elliott good on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it was capped off by an Eagles touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers about set to go on offense. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. And he'll work this back to right around the line of scrimmage and surrender there. He was brought down by Kamu Grugier-Hill. They had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. And they're going to be waiting for him as they get him behind the line. So we come upon halftime here in this NFC Wild Card. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. One of these two teams about to play their final half of the season as we're back at it in this NFC wildcard bout. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. So they won their division and earned the right to play at home in the first round of the playoffs, but this one is not going to script so far.
Nowhere did they have the thought process that they'd be down double digits. But the good thing is it's the first half. You and I know, you've been with me long enough now. Hang with the game plan. Stay the course for a while. Don't panic and change up things. Keep grinding. Long way to go in this ball.
That was my question to you. You don't throw everything away at this point. Stay on course.
And stay on course. Obviously, you want to eliminate the things that have caused you to be down double digits. But at the same time, you're not getting it all back in one play. Keep going. The game plan was put in there for a reason.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Newton and Olsen here with a connection. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Here's Michael Pilardi now as he's on to punt for Carolina. And he'll keep this one away from Sproles as this is angled toward the sideline. This one will sail out of bounds. It'll depend on the spot here. And the side judge says that went out at the 7-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
They go with Howard to begin the drive. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
They go with Howard again. And some room for him there as he'll take this up to about the 15. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2.
82.
Wentz looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Aguilar has it. 30 yards there, and of course the first down as well.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. Been an easy day for them.
So that changes things. Here's 1st and 10 all the way up at the 45.
Hey, Zoo. Hey, what's that? Check Mike 54. Mike 54. 81. Bush.
Throwing is Wentz. Flush to his right. And he'll hit Jeffrey complete. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Call that a very strong gain of 24. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Now Wentz. Flushed out right. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half. Incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
He's got a first down and much. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home, the next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Now from the 9, here's second and goal. To throw, it's Wentz. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. 3 touchdown passes now for Carson Wentz. And the Eagles able to push further out in front.
Look, we all know that sometimes we see upsets in the wild card round. But I have to tell you, in this case, I did not see that coming.
I don't think anyone in the stadium saw it coming. You and I were coming in before the game. There was a couple in front of us talking about travel plans for next weekend. They might want to cancel those.
Yeah, I would say so, because right now it's looking more and more like they're going to be one and done. They're probably trying to call the hotel and make sure they get their security deposit back.
Elliott good with a PAT. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the 29-yard line.
His second catch of this wild card game, and it goes for a first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained. So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. 13 yards, first down, Panthers. Newton now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Newton. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. Newton now to throw. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. And that'll be enough to keep the drive moving forward. Another first down on the pickup of 5 yards. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 6 yards there on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
A 6-yard pickup.
Draw play as Newton gives to McCaffrey. The ball's out. McCaffrey lost it. And it's picked up by the Eagles. The big man, get the oxygen tank ready. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Again, it's Howard. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. A 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. Now Wentz on 3rd down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Mario Addison in there to get him for a loss of 3, and it will be 4th down. One quarter remains in this NFC wildcard matchup. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's Cameron Johnston now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. And here now the offense heading back out there. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. Here's Newton. He finds his man, the tight end Olsen. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return and an Eagle touchdown. So a great play there by the defense. If these guys are going to advance, and it looks like they will, this defense a big reason why.
And they love carrying the mantle for this team, don't they? You see the way that they move around out there? They want to lead this team deeper into the playoffs and hopefully onto the Super Bowl.
And that return for a touchdown certainly helps that cause. Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here come the Panthers now, set to take over on offense. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could hear them, the coaches from all the way up here. They were adamant, you've got to hold on to the football or else we have no hope.
Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh sitting up here, but you're exactly right. If we were down there, that message would have been received a whole different way. Because turnovers, they've been a big problem for them. Got to take care of the football. Got to hold on to it.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now Newton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Give the sack to Fletcher Cox.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. Underneath, he's got Olsen. And he gets it here to right around the 24 before he's out of bounds. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
A good return there, 17 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now back out comes the offense. And you know, both of us gave these guys a real shot coming in here, but I don't think anyone saw this on the road with this lead in the playoffs. They've looked good a lot of times this year. This is probably as good as they've looked.
Well, it's been a textbook game for them because what you talk about as a visiting team is putting the pressure on the home team. And what puts more pressure on a home team than to be behind the entire game? Because the home crowd's there really for a coronation. They expect to win. And when you're behind, it takes the crowd out of the game, and then the crowd gets a little bit uncomfortable, maybe a little bit frustrated with the home team, and that gives you an extra advantage. So they've done it perfectly. Big lead, put everything back on the home team, and they're capitalizing on it.
Right now, that crowd, silent. On 1st down, they run with Howard. And he'll get across midfield and into Carolina territory. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter,
into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Trey Boston. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Back to throw, Newton. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
13 yards, 1st down, Panthers.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. On 2nd and 10, Newton. And the tight end Olsen, right side. And he's able to get up here to the 26. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. The last catch did get 3, but they're still left needing 7 yards on 3rd down. Now Newton. He can run for it, and he will. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the 1st. So an instance there of Cam being Cam. We know he can use his legs.
And with that big body, it's hard to get him down, even if you get a clear shot on him. Plus, he moves it a lot faster than what people think. And boy, does he have fun playing the game of football.
11 yards and a Panther first down.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Newton, meanwhile, here connecting with McCaffrey. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. A small bit of adversity here on what's been a strong drive as they come up 2nd and 12. Throwing is Newton. Rolling, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Derek Barnett in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. 3rd and long, it's Newton. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Timmy Jernigan providing a little deja vu, back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long. Here's Michael Pilardi now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. And out now come the Eagles. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
120!
Mike 54. I'm going to run you up.
They'll begin the drive with Howard. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Howard. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 17 yards and a first down for Philly.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be giving a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yes. And he loses the football a second time. And it's picked up by the Panthers. There he goes left side. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. We got it.
Fumbles, that's how you get in the coach's doghouse. The first one lost and it hurt. This time you lose it and it's taken in for a score. It really hurt.
And about that doghouse, it won't exactly be comfortable, and it definitely won't be air-conditioned.
Milk bones?
None.
Extra point splits the uprights as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. This is fielded at the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
Stop made there by Gerald McCoy. Well, 1 win down, still 3 to go to get to the most hallowed ground in sports, but a good start.
A terrific start because they get to move on. Unfortunately for the team that lost, it's a long offseason ahead for them now.
So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. Till next time, we say so long from Charlotte.
I just ran a checkup on myself.